Welcome back to Red Star Raceway and Regional Extreme Festival action. It's now time for Pabar Volkswagen Challenge. A big field and the biggest field of the weekend coming out of the Pabar Volkswagen Challenge. Big battles expected at the front end of each of the categories, Class A, B and C. Let's catch up now with Charisse van der Merwe.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I think it's going to be lots of fun. We have a good qualifying position, would have liked a bit better, but I think it's going to be quite an interesting start. I've got the inside line to turn one, so I'm really excited, and the team's worked so hard on this car, so we're super happy.
Looking forward to seeing what that young lady can do in the front end of Class B. She's going to have a tough battle. One of the most competitive categories in the country is Class B here in Pabar Volkswagen Challenge. And she's certainly going to be looking to shine high for the Hot 102.17. A couple of contenders at the front end that are going to be certainly fired up as well. Valdi Meinke's being one of them. Certainly looking forward to a battle there with the front end of Class A. Rory Atkinson, Wayne Masters, Bevan Masters and Stian Kriel. As always, the usual contenders. We're on board here with Charisse van der Merwe in the Hot 102.7 machine as she gets ready to go now. Remember, it's a staggered start. Class A will go slightly ahead of the Class B, so the red flag will be held there just ahead of the Class B competitors. As the lights go out for Class A, we'll be racing down towards turn one. Then there's a small break to Class B and an even smaller break to Class C. But A's are on their way down towards turn one here at Red Star Raceway. And it looks like problems at the front end there. Bevan Masters having a little bit of issue right at the start, but it's Rory Atkinson who leads into turn one, and right on his tail, it's Wayne Masters. Class B about to get their lights and off they go. It's a fantastic start as always from this big field of Class B competitors. And look at that, they go right down into the chicane for Classes A and B and C. That's how many cars are out on track here for Red Star Raceway's Regional Extreme Festival. Class C competitors now coming to the line, and they will be starting their race, and as they do, it's going to be a huge fight expected between the reigning champion there, Mussolini, and a couple of new contenders thrown into the mix, including Walker and Castle. Two of them going to be fighting hard, and Castle, of course, is a man to watch out for in Class C. Class A, though, as they start to rage, is a little bit of action already into Class B's as they start to get it thick and fast. It looks like that was, Francis Van Zyl having a little bit of issues of his own there, getting a little bit sideways out of turn three. The Grange Workwear car coming up on the inside. They're looking for a way past as well. You can see just how difficult it's going to be there and just how hard these guys are going to have to push. Leon Undal in the mix there as well. Great start from him. But as we go back to the front end, Wayne Masters under a bit of pressure here. It's the 22 car who's putting the pressure on him, and Stian Kriel looking for a way around right from the word go. Behind that, Valdi Meinke's lines up the rest of the pack with Sam and Christel, followed by Smallberger. Mike Babaglia hasn't quite got onto the back end there of Derek Smallberger just yet, but he's not too far off the back, that's for sure, as he starts to close the gap down there on the two of them. And then just behind that, it's a Maradona Mfana having a fantastic run just ahead of the battle for Class B, which is headed up by this stage, and it looks like it at this stage, by a hard-charging Hannes Skeppers. New man to the series, and great to see Skeppers at the front end of Class B already. We're on board here with a top contender, and Charisse van der Merwe, by the looks of things, sitting in about fourth place at this stage in the Hot 102.7 machine as they come out of the dog bone section. Charisse just on the gearbox, super stuff. All problems. Pierluigi Mussolini parked on the sideline, the reigning champion, and I think he was leading Class C at that stage. So, man alive, that's not what you want to be doing if you've got the number one plates on your car, and the DNF is certainly not going to help your championship aspirations and possibilities of retaining that number one car. But at this stage, he's parked on the sideline and out of the race here for race number one. This is what happens when you've got such a competitive field of category and cars out there. And the competitors that are in this category really hold nothing back, including the two Dell boys who are now ahead. Smallberger starting to come through the field, starting to close the gap down there on Mike Babaglia, and tucked in behind there, Maradona Mfana coming out of Squadra Course, getting some more valuable seat time in that car. Whoa, where is that machine headed? Well, looks like Francois Van Zyl gone a little bit out of shape coming out of the dogbone section through that little kink. He ran completely off track. I don't know if he's helped out ever so slightly, but he's definitely gone completely off the circuit and definitely not where he wants to be. We're on board here with Derek Smallberger. Smallberger looking to close things down there on the two Dell boys. They're just up the road from him and not too far ahead, actually, of this hard charge coming from the Sabertech man. BHIT is Atkinson. He hangs on at this stage ahead of Masters, the Performance Masters Polo there, all over the back of that BHI logistics machine. And it's a really tough battle between the two of them. Stian Kriel hasn't been able to bridge the gap to the two of them, but he's just waiting in the sidelines to pick up any of the pieces if something goes wrong. Right now, it looks like I think exactly what I was expecting. As soon as the pressure got applied to Rory Atkinson, he answered with a slightly faster lap, and it's opened up a little bit of breathing room for himself. Mid-pack of Class Bs. And this is where it's starting to rage here in the Class B battle. You've got Lupini in there, you've got Ethan Kutsia, They're all getting to grips with, of course, their new cars in Volkswagen Challenge. Those two boys fighting not only in Volkswagen Challenge, but also in the Volkswagen Polo Cup. And they'll be in action in a couple of weeks' time as we get into PE. Absolutely brilliant stuff to see those youngsters going at it. And then watch out for a hard charge coming out of Karshan Naidu and Mo Karodia. These two also having a little bit of a change up in their allegiances from Volkswagen Challenge as well as going to the Polo Cup. So there's a bit of chopping and changing between the two categories, but they are similar cars and certainly putting on some fantastic racing in both heats. As they come down on the brakes, it's late braking from the 58 car. Look at how late on the brakes there Ethan Kutsia was. Diving on the inside and just showing a little bit of clean wheels through there to make his way up one position into the Class B battle there in that mid-pack. Back to the front end. BHIT still leads out. That means Atkinson has got the lead and possible looking for the victory here ahead of Masters. Masters has followed him all the way around, literally from the start. He got the whole shot and there's been no answer yet from Wayne Masters. And Wayne Masters looks like he might have to do a little bit of tweaking at the Performance Masters pit to get the car sorted for race number 2. Further back in the pack, they start to they continue with the race action that's been all day long. And absolutely nothing. Good to see the return there of the Grange workwear car. And Mike McGregor starting to scythe his way through the field there in the mid-pack of Class B. He's loving life in that Grange workwear car, that is for sure. Further back in the pack, you can see a little bit of issues here for the 7 car. Dino Smith just dropping into the clutches of the top 5 in Class C. He was a bit higher up a bit earlier on. I'm not quite sure what's gone wrong there for Dino, but we'll keep an eye on him. We're keeping an eye on Performance Masters, man. Wayne Masters at the wheel. Has he found a way through? No, he hasn't. I was waiting for the cameraman to pan across there to pick up on whether or not he's got through on Rory. This is the high-level shot here from our drone way up in the sky above the Delmar circuit. And there's no answer here from Masters onto Atkinson's pace. As soon as he gets close, Atkinson just turns the wick up and gets away and gives himself some more breathing room. The two Dell boys going to be swapping paintwork there. One going with the British flag in the original colours. One going with the option of the negative side of the British flag. Dino now looking to close things down now. Can he get a little bit higher up in that Class C battle? We'll wait and see how he finishes up by the time the checkered flag comes out. Back to the mid-pack. Man, this mid-pack of Class B is always exciting. There is always epic battles right through, and that's exactly what's happening. As you can see, the 36 car there, Bevan Williams, under a bit of pressure. We go on board once again with Charisse Vanamava. Vanamava, I think, possibly have moved up into either first or second place at this stage in Class B. So a fantastic run here from the Hot 1027 machine there of Charisse Vanamava as she gets to the front end of Class B. Maybe not right to the top step yet, but not too far off considering the start of the season that she had and the couple of crashes that she's been involved in. So it's a big turnaround here for her into this category. 69 flying through there, Jacques Hayes, just applying a bit of pressure onto Leon Undal. Losing out there is Undal. And now the back markers are going to come into play here. Will they affect Rory Atkinson? It's a 4K circuit, so it's a very long circuit. I didn't quite expect to see the Class A competitors get to the back end of the tail enders, but they've done it before just before the checkered flag comes out. First couple of back markers caught there right in the closing stages, and it's Atkinson who takes the win from Masters. Stian Kriel finishes up in 3rd place. B's goes to Skeppers ahead of Vanamava and Bevan Williams, and C's goes to Ian Walker. Let's catch up now with Rory. Oh, looks like a little bit of action right in the closing stages as well, yes!
It was tight. Wayne had incredible pace. We need to see the timesheets because that determines who starts next, but I'm happy with the result. I'll take it and just focus on the next heat.
Not a bad effort from Hannes Skeppers, first time out, and the Class B victory.
Luckily I had a good start and I could pull a little bit of a gap in the first 2 or 3 laps, and Cherie started from 4th, and then I think by lap 3 she was behind me, and she put in a good fight, and I could see that gap just stayed the whole race.
Derek Smallberger had the best seat in the house for this overtaking manoeuvre, and Valdi Mikes, our new TV presenter, was standing by to catch up with the protagonists.
Chris, tell us about your race with your son.
Oh, brilliant. Best race ever. We got off to a good start. Everyone were clean. Corner, Smallberger, we went side by side but never touched each other, and I just managed to pip away. And there's Sam in front, caught him up. Each corner we were just pulling away, but on the last one onto the straight, we got caught with the tail C-class, and it slowed him down, and I just got enough to get past them. And the next corner along the straight, he was too busy looking in his mirror and he overshot the braking mark, so he went a bit wide, and I just tucked in to take.
Well done, Chris. I mean,
brilliant.
Are you sure it's not because I'm convinced that?
Well, it's called my super talent. Super talent.
Super talent. Good for you, buddy.
There are some super talented drivers in this category, and it looked like the British flag prevailed over the negative British flag. Let's see if it's the same here in race number 2. As we get ready to go now, remember the staggered starts there for Class A will start off first. The red flag will be held in front of Class B, and then a couple of seconds later they'll head down into the battlefield here at Red Star Raceway yet again. And we had some fantastic dices all race long. Here comes the Bees as they head down towards... Oh, there's problems on the start line before they've even crossed the start line. There's already cars heading left, right and centre to get around each other. Fortunately back on track just in time for turn 1. But we spoke about that mid-pack of Class B all day long, and it continues here into race number 2. A good start there from Caution Naidu. He's in that mid-pack. He stayed just out of harm's way as Class C makes its way to turn 1 as well. Let's see if Pierluigi Mussolini can turn his luck around. Remember, he ended up on the sideline after a little bit of an incident there in race number 1. A little bit of a change up here and a bit more pressure coming from Stian Kriel on the back end of Masters, and the 2 Dell boys just behind that. Smallberger's in it too, and look out for our TV presenter in there as well, Valdi Monkeys, looking for a new job by the looks of things. He's in 4th place at the moment, so if he stays right there, it could possibly be a little bit of a concern for our new role as our TV presenter down in pit lane for this category. But what an awesome interview he did there with Chris Dell in the mid-pack. And there we go, back to Chris Dell and Sam Dell, and they're into the pack here and fighting hard. That's the front, the back end of Class A, as they make their way around and complete another lap in action here and in anger as we're into the thick of it once again for race 2 of Pabar Volkswagen Challenge. Further back here, we're looking at the battles for Class C, and it's a big fight on. You can see all of a sudden Pierluigi Mussolini is back in it, but so is the 119 car, and it looks like all of a sudden we're seeing Renier into the thick of it, big time. PHRT leads out yet again, Masters in second. So we just look at Rory Atkinson at the front end of the field as he's been all day long. No one's had an answer there to Atkinson's pace. They've tried to find a way past, but just can't do it. And then we get into, yet again, look at this. There's 10, 15 cars here in Class B, and any of them can end up in that top 5. They're all fighting for honours though, but it's Skippers who leads things out in the Class Bs. There is Mussolini, and he is having a fantastic run. Much better than what he did in race number 1. That is for sure. He's definitely going to be feeling a lot more confident now that he's into the thick of it. Speaking of into the thick of it, here we go again. Those are the 2 cars I think that were already at each other's throats earlier on, and you can see just how hard it's getting out there. As the 72 car gets forced wide, Caution Naidu. He's got Mo Karodia just ahead of him. We're on board now with Charisse a little bit further up the field, sitting in second place, trying to close down on Skippers. She wasn't able to do it in the first one. Maybe there's enough time here for her to do it in the second one. Mo Karodia stuck on the outside, and that had to end up in tears for somebody. There was so much banging of bars and wing mirrors that somebody had to end up in tears, and it looks like Mo Karodia's race might be done and dusted. Oh, another big spinner coming into the Bridgestone chicane. It's the 56 car there of Kutsia, Mitch Kutsia this time. Oh, there's cars all over the place at the moment. Looks like some big issues there, and double yellow flags and safety car being deployed. The Suzuki Swift safety car being deployed there due to the fact that in a dangerous position as per usual, it was Mo Karodia parked on the outside of turn number 6. We got green flags again and we're racing, and it's Constantine the field up big time here with a lap to go. There's only 1 lap to go now, and are we going to see a change up here between Masters and Kriel, or possibly stealing the victory here away from Atkinson at the front end? Watch out for the battle behind as well between the 2 Dell boys. Sam Dell definitely wants to get one back at Chris for the second heat, and he'll be looking to just stay ahead there as the Class B competitors come flying through, and Class C. As I said, the whole field is basically concertinaed up here into the closing stages. The 10 car coming through there, that'll be Leon Odendaal under pressure from 69. Jacques Hayes. Hayes looking to try and squeeze through like he did in the first heat to get ahead of Odendaal. Odendaal's going to make that polo very wide. They come down onto the back straight for the last time. This is the big N4 highway, and as they come onto braking, is there going to be a move here? Kriel's got through. He's found a way past on Masters. Masters losing out as they came onto that back straightaway, and Stian Kriel has moved up to second place. So coming to the line, it's going to be Atkinson. Second place is going to be Kriel, and third place goes to Masters this time. Kriel just squeezing through there in the closing stages. Skippers takes Class B ahead of Fanamava and Kutsia, and Class C goes to Ian Walker ahead of Mussolini and Nusios. Let's catch up with the comeback kid, Stian Kriel.
We qualified 5th. And then we replaced the injectors. We had a little bit of a technical issue. The car was overfueling crazy. Race 1, we managed to caught up a little bit, finished 3rd place, just not enough straight line speed. The car is a little bit bruised, if I can put it that way. And then race 2, luckily with the safety car, because as the car gets a little bit hotter, it just loses a lot of power. So the first few pumping laps is where I could make up. So capitalized on that, and yeah, luckily we finished second in the race 2.